G'day, my name is Sydney Chris, and in January of 2019, I released a tabletop role-playing game called Riders Last Rites. This is a version of it. Riders Last Rites is a tabletop role-playing game about a soldier who dies in battle. Her four closest friends come together to decide what to do with what remains of her. For ease, I've put timestamps in the description below, beginning first with where I discuss the characters, secondly from where we start playing, and then some discussion and close out at the end of this. I also want to mention that due to how I recorded this, Barry's face is the only primary face that you see for the first 20 minutes. It's still perfectly watchable and enjoyable, and it does resolve itself after that point. And also in the description is a link where you can buy Riders yourself. It's something that I think is incredibly important, and also something that I'm really proud of. The story is intentionally very open-ended to give players an opportunity to insert as much of the truth in themselves and the game they want to see into it, and you will see our players do that during the game. But the facts that we know are this. Earlier this morning, Felix Ryder, a first-class pilot of the Ninth Guard, fell in battle. She's gone. Her mech, which is named Valiant Fox, sustained mostly cosmetic damage. Were it possible for Valiant Fox to ever bond to another pilot, he could be back in the fight tomorrow. But that's not possible. And her death has left him nothing more than 7,000 tons of dead weight. And so, these four people closest to Ryder gather together to ask themselves the most important question. Now that Ryder's gone, what do we do with Valiant Fox? Sabine plays Challenge Rider. Challenge, sharing Felix's surname, is her sibling. They grew up together. They're each other's oldest friends. But Challenge is also a maintenance tech who's grown ever distant from their sister as she became a renowned pilot.
That's why there is a bond. You can't say this is just an ordinary thing. There are neural pathways in that mech that echo hers.
Sarah plays Chief Medic Sierra Hayes, Felix's lover, her most intimate partner, but also a medic, the kind of person who sees the human cost of war every day.
The way she explained it, it was like it was a part of her. It wasn't like owning a car and the seat molding to the shape of your body. It was deeper than that.
Barry plays our pilot second class, Skylar Maddox. Skylar is Felix's wingman. He's her battle buddy. And when Felix died, Skylar watched. And when Fox couldn't move anymore, Skylar was the one that carried him back to the guard.
You know, when Grizz is unable to serve, that's when I'm done. That's when I retire. And if the machine outlives the man, that's what we got here, right?
Pat plays Chief Marshal Javier Gray. Javier is a burdened commanding officer. He blames himself for the failures of the guard. Gray is the one who has to make the decision.
Although she causes stress during missions, at the end, she always got the job done. Always.
And I think that's enough for me. I'm going to let the players take it from here.
I think there's a tradition we have where when we lose one of our own, like most of the time I imagine that drink is not allowed around the forward camps. But when we lose one of our own, drink is allowed. It's one of the few times that drink is allowed. And the tent or building that we use as a mess hall then becomes a solemn drinking establishment for those that want to mourn the loss. I believe that's the environment we're in. As for what Felix meant to me as a commanding officer, is I lost a very fine mech pilot. What it means to me on the bureaucratic side is more work on my end, more paperwork to fill out. And also what it means is it's just another name of an ever-growing list of young people lost in this war.
Thank you. Barry, what do we see of you?
So I actually I might need you to come back to me. I'm still
Sounds good.
piecing some things together. Sorry.
It's okay. Sarah, what do we see of you?
I think I'm sitting at the very end of the table. Oops, should I change that? That's a good point. Quietly, like I'm in the military technically, but not at the level where I would interact with any of you on a daily basis. I think I got to know Felix when she came in with like friends who'd been injured or she'd been injured herself, and then you recognize each other enough to say hello in passing, and then it kind of developed from there. And we shared a cabin toward the end. But her loss, I don't know, I'm still trying to process it. I think it was very recently, and I mean, not unexpected. It's war. People have died before. You kind of always have it there in the back of your head, especially as a medic, because I was there for some of the deaths when they managed to bring people back behind the lines.
Wow.
Kind of in shock right now, I think. She can't be gone.
Wow, that's really special. Sabine, what do we see of you?
I think Challenge is Felix's sibling. I don't know how many people know that, but they are from the same colony and they have the same last name. No, it's a large family. It's complicated. Challenge is pacing. Also, we are allowed to drink. Challenge is keeping to tea or coffee probably because they need to stay awake. And you can see they're upset. They're wandering around and they're checking some lists and some technical stuff. It's like they're still trying to work and not feel the loss, really. Challenge is looking at people right now, and they're just not very comfortable with the military commanders, their attack. They look over to, her name isn't Sierra anymore, but the medic.
No, it's still Sierra.
It's Sierra, okay. So they're looking over to Sierra and just like they want to say something, but then don't know how to find the words right now.
It's lovely. And Barry, let's talk about Skylar.
Skylar is, I think, probably the last to show, and has when they enter the front mess, the Pat, you said this is like a big mess tent. Is that right?
Yeah. It's usually where you go to get your chow and all that, but
Right.
yeah, tonight it's a different thing.
Right. And I think that there's the sound of like a scuffle outside, and the like all the telltale like sounds and signs of boots in the dirt, and maybe a fight almost starting before the canvas of the tent kind of is thrown back, and Skylar comes in with with a bandage around around his head, a little bit soaked with blood over his left eye, and bringing carrying carrying an unlabeled bottle with a cork stuck in the top of it into the table. And yeah, I like having come in, I try and straighten my posture a little bit because my CO is here, but I think that he understands. And I come over to the table and I sit down and kind of clunk the bottle down.
From here until Pat. Sorry, Pat. What's your character's name? I just need to. Yeah.
Javier Gray.
Javier Gray. Until Javier or Chief Marshal Gray makes the decision that we move on to our final topic. It's a good space to ask each other questions, hear stories, and to share things that you have always needed to say, but kind of have never found a good time for. I'm going to ask one because I'm really interested in this one, but I will probably try not to step in and have too many inputs into this. But I do want to ask first and foremost, her oldest friend, Challenge, her sibling. What do you remember of the day that Ryder bonded to Valiant Fox?
I remember that Felix, she was usually very carefree, like relationships were more like a thing that were fun, but if they went nowhere, they weren't. She didn't bond deep usually. We didn't have we had a relationship, we were siblings, but it wasn't like the true sisters or siblings. It wasn't like that because Ryder Felix was always like flitting around a bit butterfly-y. And when she bonded to Valiant Fox, that was the day that she went steady with something. The first time I ever saw her caring about something so deeply. That machine thing. Well, okay, I like machines too. But I don't get it. I'm not bonded to one of them.
When Skylar walks in and sets that bottle down and sits down, I look over at him. And you said he had a cut on his face?
Yeah, like a bandage over like it's been seen too, but there's like a reddened bandage over my forehead.
Yeah, I look at Skylar and I'm like, one of these days you idiots will realize you can't beat the pain out of each other.
This is from yesterday, boss.
Yeah, that tussle outside you had nothing to do with?
Just noise. Just noise.
So, tell me, when did you realize yesterday it was all going to shit?
Skylar takes the bottle and like looks to see if anyone has gotten out like a tin cup or anything, and seeing none on the table, takes a pull from the bottle, says, I didn't clock it, but Ryder saw it right off.
And
Said we were committed. We were in. We weren't coming out. We got in.
now that isn't.
We did what we needed to do. The guard stood strong, but for the most part that day. The wall stood tall, and
Yeah. Overall, the mission was a success.
I don't know what it was. What did it get us? A little bit of ground that we've been fighting over for the last 2 years.
But it was still a success. However, Ryder didn't follow protocol.
No, that's why she was so damn good.
Yeah, such a pain in the ass, too.
Yeah.
I think at that challenge turns away from the two of you saying that she was a pain in the ass and mumbled something not very polite into her coffee.
What was that, Corporal?
I'm just complaining about the taste of this stuff.
Well, all right, we have something over here that might taste a little bit better.
Nah.
Come on, two great tastes.
Look, I lost a sibling today. I don't want to lose my mind, okay?
Can I ask a question out of character?
Sure.
Were you the younger or older sibling?
I think I'm the younger. Yeah, I'm the younger.
Like a little younger or a lot younger?
A little younger. But I think we had one parent. We are half siblings. So we don't look much alike. It's not optical. You don't see it that we were siblings, but we were.
Corporal Ryder, why are you so different than your sister? You follow orders.
Yes, sir, I do.
And your sister never did. Well, she did to an extent.
Well, you said go into battle, she went into battle. That's what she always liked. She liked fighting. But she always had her own way of doing things. No, even when she came to the guard, she had her own way of doing things. She didn't think that other people's rules applied to her. Like, she wanted this, and then she wasn't mean-spirited or anything. I'm saying this wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not good with talking.
No, you're right.
She was better at that, too.
She was good at what she enjoyed if she enjoyed fighting.
Yeah, that's true. That she did.
How many iron knuckles did you end up having to replace on Fox anyway?
Lots. I mean, I didn't mind doing that. I'm a good tech, I guess.
Lieutenant Hayes, what's the total count on the injured from yesterday's skirmish?
That's me. She kind of looks up from her drink. Seven dead. But that matters more, and she didn't enjoy it as much as you think she did.
Sorry. Do we know that you two were lovers?
Yeah, we lived together. So,
Lieutenant, you have to calm your nerves just a bit. I understand you lost somebody that was important to you. But she was one of 7.
She was the only one like herself. You're here. You came to this memorial out of all the others. She must mean something to you, too.
Not gonna lie to you. Lieutenant Hayes. And no offense, Skylar, or Pilot Maddox, no offense, but Pilot Ryder was the best we had. Haven't seen any better. And from a standpoint of that, we fight for what we believe in. We lost our strongest cog in that. Am I coming off as cold?
Yeah, you coming off as cold. She was a person, not a cog in the wheel, right? But if you can't even respect that, I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry. I know this is against. Yeah, no, I don't drink because I would be harsher if I did.
And I don't think so many of these people that I've seen come through the med bay, they didn't fight for some grand ideal of what the world would be like, or for courage or greatness. They did it for the people that they loved. She told me a couple days ago she wanted me to leave, to get out. Did you know that?
No.
So,
But when you say get out, I saw the papers. She wasn't asking for discharge. She was asking for transfer.
The hell do I want to transfer out of here?
when? Where to?
I don't know, something back on the mainland. Away from this shit. But she wasn't giving up on her duty.
That she thought some things were worth more. Maybe.
She still believed.
And it got her killed.
Do you think that pains her more than it pains us?
There's still something of her in that thing. I think it does.
You know, the bonds with pilots and their mechs, that's iffy territory. Nothing's ever been scientifically proven on that.
I know.
There's something of her in it. She's right. It's not like there's nothing of Felix in this. That's why there is a bond. You can't say this is just an ordinary thing. There are neural pathways in that mech that echo hers.
Yeah,
It's why you couldn't
Boss,
just
until
turn it
you-
over to someone else.
Exactly.
Until you bond, boss, you don't know. It's you can't. It's like me and Kentucky Grizz. He and I have an understanding, and now I got to go and explain this shit to him.
You're talking to your mech.
Don't we all?
Oh, I've seen it before. And I've seen it go too far.
These things understand you.
Look, there's a certain
just-
comfort level when you spend enough time in a mech. I understand that.
I'm not a mech pilot, I'm a tech, and even I know that.
Yeah, but you have a comfort level around the machinery.
I am a good tech.
The way she explained it, it was like it was a part of her. It wasn't like owning a car and the seat molding to the shape of your body. It was deeper than that.
I mean, it's
Now,
kind
I've
of
seen
like
people that
She loved that thing.
I've seen people that really love their cars. Like really love their cars.
Was the first thing that ever really meant anything to her. That fox thingy. Never seen her care for anything as much as that. I'm sorry, Sarah. I don't know. I didn't get to spend much time with her, so maybe I'm wrong.
I know she loved me.
Sure.
Here's the way I see it. You could have taken Felix and put her in any hunk of junk this military throws out there. And it would have been the best fighting hunk of junk on the battlefield that day. That's how good she was.
Yeah, you know she failed at earlier bondings, right? You couldn't put her in any kind of junk. You know that. It's totally bullshit. That's total bullshit.
Yeah, but Valiant
tried-
Fox. Go ahead. You can finish.
Yeah. She tried to bond with, I don't know what that mech's name was. I just think something like Tiger Skull or something. And they put her in there and it didn't work. Just didn't click.
Well, that was personal preference. Come on, Corporal. You can't tell me Valiant Fox is the sleekest, most efficient machine here.
Yeah,
We got
ain't
newer
nobody can
ones. We
drive
got
them.
nice ones.
Ain't nobody can drive them now. Count was off. 7-1.
So, tell me all. If Felix was sitting here right now, at this moment, knowing her life would be snuffed out the next day, she would have had this moment with all of us here together. And she could change one thing about each of us. What would it be?
She would have taught me how to throw a haymaker a little better.
I guess she would have told me to not try to be like her more. I guess. I don't know. She said that a few times to me.
Nothing. And I know that because she said it to me.
She would have probably told me what she's told me 1,000 times. And even though I'm her commanding officer, I always let it slide. And that was to pull my head out of my ass.
So why don't you?
There's a reason I'm sitting here with you. Rather than in my office signing the paperwork. Because there's 6 other sheets I got to sign besides hers. 7 total families I got to notify. I understand you're all in pain. And you see each other's pain here around this table. Have you ever witnessed that pain 7 times in one day?
Yeah. Today.
Yeah, real close, boss.
Have you seen that pain in the eyes of 7 mothers? 7 brothers, 7 sisters, 7 fathers.
Are you saying this matters less
I have
for
3
that.
brothers and a father and a mother to tell the whole thing to. So, yeah, right? Like, what are you getting at anyway?
Every day, I have to go out there and tell the families. Every day. Every day, I have to watch them cry tears of pain. Every day, I have to give them some bullshit story that their loved one died fighting for what they believe in.
Yeah, but what'd you do when the call came in? What'd you do when you found out? Because I know what I did. I picked up Fox. I knew it wasn't moving, not on its own. I dragged that whole thing back here because I couldn't leave my friend out there. And it's not the same looking at a fox's eyes it is looking into Ryder's eyes, but goddamn, we opened it up and I knew before. How long's it been, CO, since you've been on the field? I think you might have forgot. I think you might have forgot what it looks like up close.
Saying that yesterday, you think you'd ever forget that?
No, sir.
And it's no different for me.
And I get what you're saying about it being a matter of numbers more than anything else, because it's a war and people die. But that doesn't mean that anyone's life matters less because of that. And we can find other materials, but there's still something of her left in there. And if we can preserve it.
I think we can. I think we really can.
But at what cost? The time and effort it'll take to do as you ask could cost even more lives in the future.
Yeah, but what are we fighting for if we can't even preserve what we are? If we're just throwing material after material after material and everybody dies, and who gets saved? Why don't we save?
If this is why we lose, then we're fucked anyway.
Yeah, what she says. Oh man, can you give me something of that bottle, Maddox? I'm done. I can't leave.
This isn't about a piece of metal. It's about a
You're
memory.
right.
Exactly.
It's about a memory. It's sounding to me like you're not going to honor.
All due respect, sir. If it's a memory you're gonna honor, you're gonna do that by patching the wall, by keeping the rest of us in fighting shape. We won today. We won a little today. Maybe we lose some tomorrow. I don't know, but I mean, Fox got good shoulders. Fox got really solid power generator. We need it on the line more than ever.
But that generator is where the memory is preserved. I don't want the shoulders. They're probably not important, but the power generator, we need that. We need that to preserve her. We need to have something to fight for. Come on.
Yeah, well, us out there got to have something to fight in.
Look.
She did so much for you. She saved so many people, and you can't even give her this.
If we do this once, what are the ramifications of that? Every mech pilot gets buried in their mech. How many mechs does that leave for future pilots?
How much could we learn from this? much knowledge could we preserve? She said yourself she was the best we had, and you just want to throw that away?
There's nothing in that generator, Corporal. It's a piece of machine.
You're just saying that because you wanna have it easy. It's not easy. Some part of her is in there. I mean, listen to Maddox. He knows that bond is not just a thought or a love for the guy for a screwdriver or whatever.
Your sister is not in that generator.
If you have made your decision already, why are you here? What do you want? What do you want here? Why are you giving us even the hope that we could preserve something of her? And I'm going over to Maddox and I'm taking that bottle and taking a pull.
Because when it comes to the end, seeing the looks on my soldiers' faces day after day is the only assurance of whether I'm doing a good job or not.
And how are they going to look at you when they learn what you've done or allowed to happen here?
Allowed to happen?
There is something left of her in that. There is. It might take time to get it out, but there was no one else like her. She was kind and brave and stupid.
She was.
How will they look at you when you tell them you don't even believe that they really have a bond with their mech? And you tell them that this is all a fantasy, that there's nothing of them in that mech. Huh?
It's not that I don't believe that they don't have a bond with the mech. It's that I don't believe that their memory is left in the mech.
Look, Chief Marshal, if you got two of that order, can we just fill one out for me now, just so we're ready for it for when it happens, for me and Grizz go down.
Would you want us to try to save what was left of you if it was you in there?
No, what's left of me? You got some of that, and you got some of that. Challenge, you got maybe a tiny little bit, whatever Felix told you. Chief Marshal, I apologize for any amount of me that you got to carry around, but no, it's a bond, but it's like the bond that me and Felix had, when she went down, part of me went with her, and I gotta honor that. I gotta figure out how the hell I'm gonna keep the line together now with it down a third of the number of units that we usually field. All of us in a bad state of repair. All of us.
At this point in our game, we took a 5-minute break. It was nice to step away from the intensity of the session to take a breath, get some water, and to think about what we would do and what we wanted to see from the rest of the game. If you'd like, I want to extend that same offer to you at this point. Pause the video, step away, take your time, and then come on back, and we'll be here.
Cool. So after that declaration, Challenge will turn to Maddox and give him back his bottle. It's remarkably lighter. And they say, don't even have anything to live for besides this, what this is, because I know Felix did. And I'm looking over at Sierra.
Well, right now, this is it. I mean, when Grizz is unable to serve, that's when I'm done. That's when I retire. And if if the machine outlives the man, that's that's what we got here, right? No, I knew what I was signing up for. What I never understood was why Felix did.
Oh, I remember when we were kids and there was this parade of the mechas through our city, and she watched that and she loved it, the cheering and people like waving flags and stuff like that. She just loved that, and she loved those big machines.
God.
And she looked at
Chief Marshal, you remember when we used to have parades?
Yeah. That was before it became too dangerous to have public gatherings in the cities.
God. How old were you, Challenge?
I was, I think, 7, and Felix was, I guess, 9 or something like that. Or really, we were really young. War wasn't that bad back then.
You are that much younger than me. Holy shit!
I don't know how you are.
How did she even? How did she even get in? At age like that?
Yeah. Well, you know Felix, right? She wanted in, she got in. And I'm not saying anything more.
She must have been. She couldn't have been older than 17. No way. No.
Well, I don't know exactly how she got in. Do you have any more of these bottles?
You know, the military turns a blind eye to a fudged ear or two on volunteer paperwork.
Do they know?
Volunteer. Goddamn. I can't believe a kid taught me how to fight. Unbelievable.
You think you'd still be around here if it wasn't for her?
No. You've seen our mission reports. She had my back, 7 times to every 2 that I had hers.
Are you gonna go out tomorrow? Afterward, I mean.
Hell yeah, I'm going back out tomorrow. That's what she would have done.
I know. I remember this was before I met her, but they used to fly helicopters out when it was more publicity than war. I remember just how smooth it looked, how easy. And I remember thinking, whoever's inside that, I couldn't even see her face, but I knew she was beautiful.
I grab the bottle and I pour the bottle in everybody's glasses. Folks, the night is almost up. I raise a drink to Felix Ryder, The best pilot I've ever seen. And let it be known, one way or another, we will always honor her memory.
What does that mean?
It means every day I have to make decisions that hurt hundreds.
Sounds a lot harder than one at a time.
They're not looking at you right now, these hundreds you're talking about, right?
They're always looking at me. Even when my eyes close and I'm asleep. Every single one I've lost while I was in command are looking at me.
That doesn't sound healthy.
Such is the life of being a commander.
You say it like you think you care more than the rest of us. I see people come through my tents every day, injured. Some of them don't go back. Some of them don't go anywhere ever again.
Do you blame me for that?
Not you personally.
Well, I do.
Blame. You shouldn't. You didn't start the war. You're not the one who sues for peace at the end of it.
So that is my hope. And that is my belief. And it should be all of yours beliefs. Otherwise, why did you sign up to be a part of this?
Felix. I signed up for Felix.
I signed up because I thought I could do something good in all of this shit.
How many lives have you saved here, Lieutenant? More than I can count.
More than I can too.
Then don't ever believe that you don't do something good.
I
Or you
do.
haven't done something good.
I do. And I think this is a good thing. Or can be if you let it.
But what if it leads to more bodies in the infirmary because their mechs broke down? Or more bodies in the infirmary because we couldn't do our scouting missions because we were too busy prepping a mech to be burned.
Do you think we're going to lose?
We're always going to lose. We're at war.
Then why are we fighting?
For the life we want. Do you want their life? Should we just power down all the mechs, back off the lines, let them roll into our cities, and live the life they want us to live?
I don't think it's ever that simple.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that easy either. Fight or die. You think there are other options? And I don't just mean getting out. But we can hold on to something good here. She can, not just her memory can live on. The love we had for her and she had for other people. But we can have an actual part of her.
By what? Destroying $1 billion mech?
By keeping some part of her safe
And do what
you
with?
say I can try to. I think I can try to do something to keep some part of her in the system. And I would translate to something even you would understand, something you can use, because she was a great fighter. You don't want to save her for love or anything. I get that.
And this is a job you could do on your own?
Yeah, I guess. I can try at least. I mean, it's a hope, right? Because if we don't have any hope, what do we have? I mean,
and how would it feel to you if the time you took spending trying to preserve the memory of your sister to an AI, when the hip joint goes out on a mech that you could have been tending to, and we lose another pilot, perhaps even Skylar here?
Yeah, don't be hasty, sir.
I'm just using you as an example, pilot.
Yeah, but the hip joint can get out for hundreds of reasons, because you make a tactical error, or he could die because a medic made a tactical error. We aren't safe, but always playing it safe, that is not something Felix would have done. Playing it safe was never her thing. And I won't try to play it safe with her, because we need something more. We need hope. We need something to fight for.
What do you believe we should fight for?
Family.
You still have family back home, correct?
Yes, I do.
Do you not want to continue to fight for them?
I am fighting for them right now. If you can't see that, well, can't say anything to that. Cheers, guess. I'm getting drunk here and I'm making even less sense. And I wish I had her gift with words, right? Because she would have convinced you in 5 minutes that this was the right thing.
She would have just yelled at us all until we agreed with her.
She would have punched me in the mouth to shut me up.
I can't do that. I mean, can try.
She would have yelled and screamed at me, but one thing she never did was get me to change my orders. She always did her job.
And yet she just told me she wanted to leave. That means she was done. Maybe not with the war, but with this part of it, with going out there every day.
She wouldn't do that to Fox. She didn't have the heart to do that to him.
If she took her transfer, Skylar, what pilot would have taken over with Fox?
No pilot would have taken over with Fox. It's just the same with me and Grizz. I told you, I know when I'm retiring. It's when he's done, or when I am. And I love him, but I hope it's him first. God, I hope it's him first.
So do you believe that Felix would have never left as long as Fox was running?
I don't know why she would have wanted to. The first time that we had to replace one of Fox's sensor arrays, it was like she was just as blind and deaf outside of Fox as she was on the inside. Until we got that taken care of. She knows that there's a cost to fight. She knew it, and she knew what it meant. She knew what it meant to pay it, and she knew what it meant that we were all going to have to pay it at some point.
You're saying that she thought that we would all pay the price in the end, like we would all die? I don't think so. I don't think that was what Felix thought. I think
that's what we do out there, Corporal. That's what we're out there for.
You're out there to win, not to. I mean, I guess I know why you're losing, because of that's what the way you're going out. Like, oh, we're going to die today. Maybe not today, but tomorrow. Then okay, I don't even get it. I'm sorry, I don't even get it.
And she didn't think that. She thought she was untouchable up there. Because she was for so long.
But it wasn't just her. When you go out there, and Pilot Maddox can probably confirm this, it's not about you. It's not about how good you are. It's about whether that mech to your left and that mech to your right can do their job. It's about whether all the people that came before, the technicians, the planners, the programmers, can all do their job. And it's about if there is a mistake down the line, that there are medics, that there are nurses that can do their jobs.
Still at it with the cog in the wheel, and she wasn't that. That's not what she was. She was not just one in a line.
But if one of us quits doing our job, we all suffer down the line.
The only reason she quit doing her job is because she's dead.
And we should honor the job she did.
And you know what she said to me? You know what she said to me when we suited up? I said, I don't know why we're going out on this field of battle. We should maybe cede this one. I know that I don't have a command. I don't have operational authority here, but this looks like a whole shit fit, and I don't see the win in it. And you know what she said to me? She said, sometimes it's not up to you. And that's the shit of it. It's not anyone's fault. It's just not, you don't get to choose. You don't get to choose when you go. You just get to choose what everyone else just gets to choose what they do after.
Yeah, but she didn't go out there to lose or to die. She went out there to win, and well, she did. Didn't she?
Do you think she knew?
Everyone out there knows. Six other pilots out there. They knew.
They were coming back?
They knew that someday they might not.
Just because someone's willing to throw their life away.
Oh, is that what you think we were doing out there? I thought you said I thought you said you knew that was beautiful. That was the person in that thing was beautiful without even seeing them on the inside.
She's not beautiful now. Just because you're willing to go out there and die doesn't mean someone has to make you do it.
It's duty.
It's war.
The way you tell it, it's despair, and that's all.
And it probably looks like that from outside. God, she was so alive out there. I mean, whatever's left, it's not it's not gonna dance around the battlefield like she did. It's not gonna have my back the same way that she did. It's not gonna surprise me and every single one of those bastards on the other side.
How do you know?
How could it? She's gone.
She's not entirely gone, and you won't even allow for a chance, and don't get that. I don't get this hopelessness in all of you, except maybe for Sierra.
Let's go do it then right now. Can you try at least? Can you prove to them that there's something left?
Oh, yeah, no, we're going to figure that out tonight. We're going to figure out like what happens after you die tonight. Okay.
We won't know if we don't try.
Yeah.
You're right, though, it's not just the grind of war. There's good things, too. People's families coming to visit them, people getting up out of their beds and leaving. And this too. And that makes these moments worth holding on to. The fact that they're so scarce.
And you are right. You should never let those moments go. But they are what they are. They're moments. And you will hold on to them for as long as you live. All the friends that I lost during this war, family members that I've lost because of this war, they're still here.
So tell us a moment you remember with Felix.
I remember Felix's first mission. We had sent her out. It was a normal scouting mission. Do not engage. And what'd Felix do? She took out 3 of those bastards.
She was like a baby out there just banging them together. Oh my God.
Yeah. Came back. Had the court marshal sitting on my desk. She wasn't even supposed to be in that quadrant. I took that court martial. I signed my name on it, and she asked me, did I do wrong? And I said, no, you didn't. You did the best job I could imagine anybody doing. But the brass don't see it that way. And I took the court martial, and I ripped it up and gave her one more chance. Brass about had my ass for it too. Second mission, she followed it to the T. And although she causes stress during missions, at the end, she always got the job done. Always.
That sounds like her. So much. Said you gave her a chance, maybe you could give her another.
I think it'll probably be best if I just Slept on it. I stand up. Take one last drink. After tomorrow, if any of you hate me enough to pass in your discharge papers because of the decision I make tomorrow, I will not hold it against you. And I'll make sure you'll get your full pay on your discharge. Good night, soldiers. And I get up and walk off.
I feel like we should like end the scene there, and there should be an order now.
Yeah, sounds like it is time to make your decision. Once you've written it in, Pat, do me a favor before you put your name to it, and just read the whole thing out for us. Once you've
Okay, I'll type it out first, and then
yeah. I need to not look at it because I want to get the whole vibe.
Yeah, I've clicked away from the thing because I don't want to see any text. I don't want to see the order until there's an order. I'm dying a little bit.
The quality of feelings coming out of here is just insane. It's thoroughly invested. Sarah, what do you mean you don't know about them? You didn't know they were there. You didn't.
Yeah.
Oh no, you did so good if you hadn't read that. Oh my goodness. Well, you didn't need them. They were a crutch. Oh my goodness. Man, it really will be tomorrow by the time this thing gets put in.
I put in a year in here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm actually interested in what you end up with. That's
Okay, you want me to go ahead and read it?
please.
Okay. Under my order, it is assured that Valiant Fox will be burned at the pyre in ceremony to the falling of a legendary pilot. A solemn parade procession will follow, leading to one more night of alcohol allowance. May her memory live on. Signed, Javier Gray. March 8th, 2059.
That's the end of our session. Chief Marshal Javier Gray signs his name to an order that commits Valiant Fox to the same pyre as his pilot. He knows full well that this means tomorrow mechs will go into the fight underarmed and half-repaired. He also knows that this means that Challenge and Sierra, no matter what their skills, will never have an opportunity to speak to Ryder again. Javier's decision puts lives at risk. But maybe that's okay this time, to honor Ryder. Felix put herself on the line, put her own life at risk so many times for the guard, that maybe the best way to honor her is to accept a bit of the risk ourselves. That felt right to him. And I think it feels right to me too. When we debriefed from this game, we discussed that it was difficult, it was very challenging, but it was also cathartic and rewarding. Challenge and Sierra believed that saving our loved ones was what made us human. That if this was what we were fighting for, and we didn't do that, we'd already lost. On the other hand, Skylar and more vocally Javier believed that even death doesn't absolve us of our responsibility to help other people. And I don't know who's right. I don't know if anyone's right. I don't know if they're all right, because this game is a metaphor for palliative care and for end-of-life decision-making, and that is an intensely personal experience. The decisions that we make around or after the deaths of our loved ones are hard. They can feel like there's no right answer. But as we've seen, as this game has shown us, I think in my heart of hearts, if we're honest with each other, and if we're expressive of our needs, and if we listen, and if in the end we do our best, that is holy, that is as close to a right answer as we can ever come. It may seem strange that I wanted to make a game, that I wanted to put people into this situation that is, well, rewarding and cathartic, kind of burdensome and painful in a way. But the truth is, as we identified in the game that we saw, we are all going to lose. These decisions are going to happen to all of us. We can't outrun death. These kind of discussions happen every day. When loved ones require life-extending or life-sustaining treatment, those closest to them are left making decisions about organ donations and tissue grafts and blood transfusions and eventually maybe funeral arrangements. And if that happens when someone hasn't made their wishes clear, before they're in a position where they're unable to express that themselves, it is burdensome and it is painful. And it's something we can avoid. There's a document in most regions. It's called an Advanced Care Directive, or a living will. In it, you make the decisions, what you do and don't want to have happen to you, while you are in a competent place to make that decision, so that if you're ever in a position where you can't decide for yourself, we can refer to the document. This takes that burden of decision, of guessing what is best for you, away from the people that you love. To do so is such an act of selflessness and love that it is a tragedy that we let our fear of death stop us from doing that. Just Google it. Just go to your doctor. Just talk to the people that you love so that you can make difficult decisions with them before you have to make them for them. I am a 29-year-old relatively healthy person. I have no reason to suspect my acute demise, and I still have an advanced care directive. And I have had this conversation with my family because I don't want this burden of what to do with my life resting on my mother while she stands over me in hospital. And so this one is for our sisters, for our colleagues, for our lovers, our best friends, for everyone close to us who we know one day will eventually die. This one's for Ryder.